Welcome to the Board Game Snobs Podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
Nobody should buy this game. I would rather have a colonoscopy done by a Klingon gastroenterologist than play this game again.
What game is that?
Star Trek, Starfleet Conflict. Star Trek.
Do we need to restart?
Star Trek
Conflict.
Flick. By WizKids. Hello, everybody. This is Board Game Snobs Podcast brought to you by nobody.
Brought to you by
Something.
Good Friends.
Oh, that was touching. Follow us on Instagram mainly. And if you like Facebook because you're slightly older and you enjoy the Facebook, then yeah, we have
I
a
just
Facebook.
finished off your whiskey, by the way.
Is it?
Hope you don't mind.
That's okay. I don't mind.
He minds.
I have to make a whiskey run here. Vlad's brother Christopher Jorgensen or Jorgensen.
Stop. Chris.
I'm going to go to. He's a longtime viewer. And I am going to go buy some Icelandic. Are they from Iceland or Greenland?
Yeah, Iceland, I think.
Iceland. I'm going to go buy some Iceland beer when I'm down in Dallas next weekend.
What? He named one, didn't he?
Yes, and I got to go find it.
I would like to go to Iceland just for Mount Reykjavik. Is it Mount Reykjavik?
It's Reykjavik.
Is that the one that's spelled like
That's the one
a
that
lot of
blew up.
consonants?
Didn't they have a volcano?
Yeah.
that blew up? Yeah, and it's very dangerous over there.
And that it is?
Well, there's
Maybe I won't go.
Well, I'm assuming.
Well, I saw somewhere they said, what if we started just dumping our trash in volcanoes? Would that incinerate it?
That would work.
Get rid of it?
Nothing could
Magma.
liquid hot magma.
Liquid hot magma.
Nothing would work. What's the difference between magma and
The knock on the door?
I'm sorry, I blanked there just for a
Hear a
minute.
knock at your door.
I'm not a volcanologist. I'm sorry. I blanked there for a moment. There's a difference. Like one is
A volcanologist?
yes, that's this person who studied volcanoes.
Volcanoes? Like Spock?
Yes, a volcanologist is somebody who studies volcanoes, which I'm not going to utilize that to hard merge into Star Trek. Why are
I'm
you
gonna do.
shaking your head, Enrique?
Because you could have hard merged it, and you know
I'm
it.
not going to hard merge it. I don't hard
Hey, we decide when we hard
You don't
merge.
tell me when to merge. I decide when I merge. This podcast is
not
about
you, we.
board games and other things related to board games and some things not related
I'm
to board
stuck on
games.
volcanology.
This is Jerry. Gobby's here
I'm going to
with
start
us.
dumping
And
trash in all the volcanoes.
Enrique,
Call myself Spock.
Snub snubs.
Enrique. Would that be hilarious to have a garbage disposal company
Yes.
called Spock,
Yes.
and you dump your trash into
Volcanoes.
volcanoes? What could your tagline be? It's not live long and prosper. It'd have
I
to
don't
be
know.
like
I had to think of something. I'm not quick enough to think of something
I'm
right
not
now,
either.
so stop.
What is this that I'm drinking? This is Dr.
You
Pepper.
went and got it.
I don't know what it was.
I'm like, I'll take it.
Dr. Pepper?
No, I'm not
you
drinking
just
Dr.
drinking
Pepper.
Dr.
I'm
Pepper?
drinking Pepsi. I'm not. I'm
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to drink.
That's Enrique's doctor.
Trying to drink some things that are different. I bought a bottle
Oh,
of.
speaking of which.
Go ahead. You're interrupting me, but go ahead.
Speaking
I'll
of
allow
which. Did you hear they're making vodka from the products surrounding Chernobyl?
What?
Did you hear that?
What are they making it? Radiated vodka?
They're calling literally. It's called Atomic. That's the vodka.
Well then.
They're making it from the water and the crops.
So
And they say they have declared it safe.
okay.
I'm
Who
serious.
declared
They
it
have
safe? The Russian FDA declared it safe. What do you think, Vlad?
safe. We tell no one else. Is Chekhov from Star Trek, was he
Oh,
Russian or Ukrainian?
You're about to get me lying. I don't know. I know Anton Chekhov is one of the great writers ever, but I do not know if Chekhov. What's Chekhov's last name?
Pavel Chekhov. Pavel Chekhov.
I don't know if he is Ukrainian.
They
I
were-
assumed he was Russian.
At least 75% of profits from sales of Atomic, which featured a feral hog on it. Did you see the whole feral hog thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
feral
thing.
hogs over there in Chernobyl, Prairie Pet.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It was a Twitter thing that happened this week, but that's okay. I won't go into that.
Okay, go ahead.
They plan to sell the vodka through a social enterprise with at least 75%
Enterprise.
going towards nuclear vessels. They said they fermented it and distilled it using water from the Deek Aquifer in Chernobyl town, 6 miles south of the nuclear plant.
Cool. Trust us. This is okay.
It's good. It's good.
Also, I am. If you'd like to buy some of our whiskey distilled from the Flint, Michigan water plant, go ahead. Kickstart us. Who would buy that?
I
Everyone.
guarantee lots of people would buy it. You know, people love to buy stuff that's just like outrageous.
Like what?
Like it's from a disaster or it's just something super special.
Yeah.
They have declared it safe.
You're super special.
It's good.
Everyone's super special.
No, just you. You're just super special.
Yeah, you're right.
You are.
I
super
just
special.
remember Chekhov always talking about nuclear vessels.
Vessels.
In,
Missiles.
My favorite.
Star Trek 4, A Voyage Home.
the first Star
the whale
Trek.
one.
The Star Trek
Motion picture?
motion picture. When they get
The V'ger?
when they get into the whatever thing that's making everybody like distort and be super slow, and Chekhov says fire photon torpedoes. He completely killed that scene because it made everybody laugh. It's like they're trying to be serious and they slow him down to like 30 frames per second. It was way torpedoes away. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I love that guy. Who is that guy? Can't remember the actor's name.
Walter Koenig?
Yeah. Yeah.
Walter Koenig.
Great. I love the fact that you can IMDb stuff in your brain.
That's because I love Star Trek.
What
But
we
I
don't
did not
like
love-
is Star Trek Conflict by a company that should know better. WizKids.
But aren't, I mean, don't, Wiz
Okay.
Kids is,
We should preference this with a review copy was provided. They actually sent us this game for free. Yeah. Yeah.
sorry, Wiz Kids.
So WizKids produced a game called Star Trek Conflict. It is a flicking game. It has its own board, which is very drab. It has these various little wooden hexagonal pieces
Discs.
that you apply stickers to, which I hate doing.
Gotta stick them up.
One is for the Klingons, everybody's favorite in Star Trek, the Klingons, and the Federation. To accompany this game, they use clip art, which they have found the most drab and generic clip art.
Clip art just means like stuff from the TV shows, right?
Correct. So like
So
literally
they just push pause, screen capture.
No. They push pause. They take the picture with their S4. They then upload it to their Windows 2001. And then after they have, doctored it up with Microsoft Paint, they then apply it to some very cheap
Wood, Jerry. Wood.
Would you think this was a good idea? Absolutely not. And to top it all off, they had the rule book written by I don't know, just somebody's kid. I don't know.
All I know is
eclectic
I
at
need-
best.
often sometimes.
Often sometimes. It's
Not
not-
always, but usually.
You don't contradict yourself a lot, do you?
Never always. Rule books will provide like first move of the game.
Always be
you
my
do
maybe.
this. You do this. This is the gameplay. But on your first move, you will or won't do this.
Will
This
you?
game didn't. Will
Wheaton, will you? Nothing. There was nothing. This game is terrible. This
bad.
game is terrible. So let me fix this game
If
for
you
you.
like flicking, stick with
Flick them up.
come up.
Okay.
Or what's the racing one?
Oh, Pitch Car.
Pitch Car.
I love Pitch Car.
Everyone likes
So let me
Pitch Car.
tell you about why.
I haven't seen my copy in quite some time.
My kids love it, as does Enrique. Enrique just sits around flicking cars everywhere.
Boogers.
So many cars.
Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Why did you use that voice?
Don't worry
That
about
voice.
that.
He does weird voices.
You can't do voices.
Why not?
Gobby's the only person that can do voices.
Whatever.
You're stop. Just stop. With Star Trek Conflict, what they could have done was
Conflict.
could have
No
simply
T at the end.
have like what was that game that was the dungeon crawl, but it was a flicking game. I can't remember what the name of it was. It was very popular a few years back.
Cave?
Catacombs.
Catacombs.
Yes. Why not just okay, Whiz Kids? This is a freebie for you. Since you have the IP, and apparently the designer of this conflict game thought it was wise to put a conflict or a flicking mechanism in the Star Trek game. How about this? Take Catacombs, reskin it as Star Trek The Away Team. Have your away team be, I don't know, people from the Star Trek universe that you can, I don't know, use some clip art and flick. That would be cool.
What's the difference between that and this?
No, Catacombs had this neat little mechanism of certain powers with your
Go
characters.
on.
With your characters. So it would be neat to go on missions and beam down with Worf, and you use Worf, and Worf has whatever. I don't know, whatever power. I'm not a designer. I'm not
Obviously
even a
not.
reviewer. I am a commentator. I am the John Madden.
You're a
of
commentator.
board
An
game.
everyday potato is a commentator. Get it?
Why did you look at me like I should laugh at that? I'm not going to laugh at that. That is cheap. That is generic humor, and you're better than that.
Whatever.
You're the Rascal Flats of K-pop. Oh, that makes me remember
Progress is
Rascal Flats.
broken road.
Since we're talking about things I hate,
Life is a highway.
Gobby started listening to country music. Here,
No, I just started playing country
Playing
music. I've
country
listened
music.
to country music for quite some
Rascal
time.
Flats is not country.
No, hold on. Now, let's not say I'm listening to Rascal Frats.
Listen to all
Rascal
of our
Flats.
viewers in Australia,
The Flat
Paul,
Rascals. I don't listen to.
and Baron, all those guys. Listen, who?
Who are you talking to?
all of our listeners down under.
No.
Do not look
Oh,
up
hey,
Rascal
hey.
Flats. Rascal Flats is the worst thing ever.
They have not come out with nothing in a while. I simply played a song on Spotify.
It was terrible.
No, I started off with John Denver.
I like John Denver.
Take me home,
Country road
to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
No,
Is
we
that
gotta
right?
stop this. What did you
Good
put in my
stuff.
drink?
That's good stuff.
It really is. I got into that.
John
We
did-
need to become what's that? What they call the
We are instantly better than Rascal Flats. I can tell you that right now.
Wascal. Wascally Flats.
Oh, those Rascally Flats.
Those Wascally Flats. Anyway, I played John Denver on Spotify, and
Which we
Spotify
love.
just took that and ran with it.
Why did they think that Rascal
They're like,
Flats?
hey, if you like John Denver, you'll love Rascal Flats. Why not? No, sir. I did not.
Sorry.
Sorry would be a better game than Star Trek Conflict.
Hard merge, but I agree. Do you remember the first time you played any type of mainstream board game like
Sorry?
like Monopoly, like Yahtzee? I remember going over to not my
What
aunt's
about
house.
Gin Rummy?
I never played Gin Rummy. We played
I
a
like
game
Gin Rummy.
called Aggravation.
That's very similar to Sorry, ain't it?
Aggravation was the devil.
Yeah.
It was meant to aggravate you because you could get so close to
Literally in the
winning,
name.
and then you roll a dice. It was a roll and move.
Yes.
The same, and I remember playing that and thinking that was fun. And then I remember playing Risk and thinking that was fun.
Well, Risk was a good notch above
I
aggravation.
know, but do you realize how much time I wasted playing Risk? If somebody would
they
have
didn't
caught me,
have that stuff.
they did, but I didn't know any better. I got into board
Okay,
games.
stop. Besides, okay,
stop.
you stop.
Stop me.
Stop. Listen to me. You Monopoly. Sorry, aggravation. Uno.
I'm sorry, I'm chewing on ice.
Oh my God, you haven't done that in a long time.
I love chewing on ice.
Bringing it back. Isn't that like a deficiency?
It is. Like you're low on iron. That's why I'm
That's
so
right.
pale.
Iron
That's why I look like a
deficiency.
vampire.
That's interesting.
Mind your business.
Hey, man. That was an
man.
interesting fact, okay?
Okay, go ahead. Pika. Look it up.
When is Catan the first game other than those that like kicked it up a notch?
No,
What's the game that kicked it up? Okay, Risk.
93. In 1993, Klaus Tuber was the designer of Catan.
Right.
About that time, they did what they colloquially called the 1-2 punch. 93 came out was Catan, and then right after that, Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield.
So those were literally the first games other than aggravation, Monopoly. Sorry.
Well, if you look at Victory Point Games and GMT and all those other games that were back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
Oh wow! So they existed back
those existed back
then.
then.
Wargaming.
Wargaming was niche, though. Nietzsche? Makes me think of,
Yes.
that was very, it was different. It wasn't something that was mainstream. I remember a friend of mine coming over in 2001. Was it 2001? I think it was 2001. And bringing Catan. And I played Catan, and I thought that was just amazing.
Oh yeah.
But this was southeastern Oklahoma, where we did not have any board game shops. He had moved to Warwick, New York.
Wow.
And then while he was up there, he'd come back home and said, "Hey, have you played this?" And that was the first game where I realized you could negotiate with other players, because it's like, "Oh, give me 2 sheep and I'll give you 3 cotton or 3 brick or whatever." So Catan was that gateway game that made you realize there are better things.
That's the
out
first
there.
one I played.
Yeah, that was everybody's first one, because that was the 4 pillars of modern board gaming. What was Catan, Alhambra, Carcassonne, and what is the other one?
Ticket to Ride?
I am blanking. It wasn't Ticket to Ride. Puerto Rico?
Oh, okay.
I think it was Puerto Rico.
I played Ticket to Ride before I played Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Man.
Which are coming out with a new edition.
Which they are, and I played San Juan for the first time ever.
That's the other one we haven't played.
Yeah, I played it with Enrique, the
played it
card
on the
game,
Alpha
San
Bunch.
Juan. We had never gotten to play San Juan. I bought San Juan, the newer edition of it, and man, that game holds up. For a simple card game, it takes... This is what I like. When a game takes... Why are we not talking about Star Trek Conflict?
Because
It's terrible.
Oh, it's
Don't
bad.
buy this game. WizKids, shame on you.
Okay, so Jerry and Enrique played the game.
And I
And
text you and
they
said this
declared
is
to me
one
that
of the
it
worst
was-
games I've ever played in my life.
They did not enjoy it
It's
at
terrible.
all.
Burn it, but no.
But
I
me,
would
I'm a
rather
fan of Star Trek.
Have my visit of Romulan dentist. Is that a thing? Do Romulans have dentists?
I mean,
Perhaps.
What else do they do?
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, they got to get their teeth fixed somewhere or another.
They got to. Go ahead.
I like some flicking games. I like Pitch Car. I kind of like Flick 'em
I'd
Up
rather have a prostate exam by a Klingon.
with a Katoff.
You know you can go and take classes to learn Klingon?
Yes.
I love that. I'm sorry, I'm rolling this dice.
So they played it, and Jerry's like, "No, we don't. You don't want to play it. You don't want to play it." I
It's
was like, "Yes, I do want to play it."
Horrid.
So he brought it over. I set it up. I trudged through this rather lengthy rule book for a flicking game.
Flicky game?
And still yet, like, I couldn't find what I needed. Like, how to start the game. Like, on your first turn, where do I go?
You
what
flick.
do I
You
do?
just flick and let it go.
Yeah, and it doesn't tell you how many times to flick. It doesn't give you lots of little details that you I may have missed it in the rule book, but I didn't see it. Me and Enrique flicked a couple of times, and I was done.
Stop biting on the.
I think that if I had to describe Star Trek Conflict, it would be best described as what's the term? money grab. There you go. When you have an IP, especially one that should be as coveted as Star Trek, because Star Trek
to have that big game.
where is it? Now look, here's what Star Trek Conflict did to me. It made me want to buy Ascendancy. A Star Trek Ascendancy was the only game that I pre-ordered and canceled. And I canceled it because mainly everybody talked about how long it was and how drawn out it was. But the more I have seen people talk about it and the more expansions that come out for it, it makes me wonder if it is not the quintessential Star Trek game. We had Star Trek Captains, which was decent. It was okay. We are recently, and we have not reviewed this, but we talked about Talon. Did we talk about Talon?
Yes.
We've talked about Talon.
Yes.
I can't remember. Why is my mind that way?
Well, I don't
Which
know.
is based off Star Trek Commander.
We may or may not post it after this one.
Who knows?
It's recorded, but
It's recorded.
I don't know when
I
I'll
can't
post.
remember. We often record stuff, and Gabi decides he's not going to post it because of like heavy
sometimes
editing.
some things
that
are a
he
little
has.
more, easier.
He
than
has
others.
to edit me
But
heavily.
like, I would like if they had made Talon a Star Trek game.
He infringes on my free speech.
It would have been much better.
What?
If Talon had just been Star Trek themed,
I would have loved that.
that would have been the Star Trek
Let's
game.
do that. Let's design Talon and not tell anybody.
I'll do it. Sounds like a good idea to me.
The board game Bane. Look,
Darth plagiarism. Go back to your room.
why is that?
I'll be back.
Will you stop that, please? That's terrible. And nobody cares about plagiarism.
That's my line.
Literally, nobody cares about plagiarism. You can
stop.
plagiarize and nobody cares about it. Did you know that?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Oh, I didn't. Never mind. Sorry, I won't get edgy.
Who's edgy? I'm not being edgy. I'm just
No,
being
just
edgy.
factual.
Please.
Star Trek Conflict is one of the worst games I've played in a long time. Don't buy it.
I mean, it's a
WizKids, shame on
flicking
you.
game. It's one of the worst flicking games.
It could have been better, though. That's the thing.
on
It could have been better. It should have been better.
You should let me burn it. I am very intended to burn this.
No, Enrique, we're going to save this game until BGG fall, for which I will probably sell it to some poor unsuspecting
Here's
soul at the
thing. We
virtual
shouldn't
flea
even
market
sell
for
these
$5.
games. No,
And
I'll buy
You're
it
going to
from
sell
you
your
for-
review copy? What is your...
I'll literally buy
that
it
what-
from
something you
for
should
$5
do?
Can
and
you
burn
do
it.
that? Can you sell a review copy? This is like one of the first
You
games
should donate it.
Should I
You should
donate,
donate it.
I thought about sending
Just
this
give
to
it
our
to
fans.
somebody.
I'm not going to give it to our fans.
No,
That's how
please.
much I hate this. I would not wish this upon anybody. Don't bask in the glow that is the train wreck that is Conflict.
Bad.
Star Trek.
It's bad.
Conflict. Let's talk about a decent game.
A decent game.
Trois.
Twa.
Un, tun, trois.
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 Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Troy's?
It's spelled Troy's, but there's no Troy in it. Trois is a old Euro game that is different, which utilizes cards to kind of increase the replayability of the game, and it's a dice manipulation, dice placement game. So
It's 67 on BGG.
it's number 67 in the top 100 games of
67,
all time.
yes.
Really? Ooh, it's respected. I guess we should tread lightly. The idea behind Trois is that there are three.
Twa! What it is good for? Absolutely nothing.
No, Trois is actually really good.
Oh, okay.
I like Trois. Trois has a interesting mechanism where there are three buildings: the Bishopric, the Red House.
What's that?
It's like where the white dice.
Bishopric?
Bishopric. Bishopric. I don't know.
Bishopric.
I don't know. What is it called? It's where the
My name's Rick, and I'm the bishop. Bishop Rick, call me.
You're gonna have to stop, or I'm never gonna get through this.
Okay.
It's the white building. That's where you get white dice, and then there's
Stop
the,
pounding on things.
there's the red building. I'll pound dice. I want to. There's a red building.
come through on
where
the-
you get-
stop.
People, our listeners don't care. They know that I had to pound on things. And then there's the yellow building where you get yellow dice.
It reverberates. You know what reverberations are?
Reverberations. I like good vibrations. So when you begin the
Okay,
game,
Marky Mark.
you place your. Yeah, I like Mark.
Say hello to your mother.
When you place your meeples in these various areas, whether it be the red or white or yellow
The
area,
red there.
that's how many types of dice that you get. of
Dice,
that particular
dice,
color.
baby.
You roll those dice, they go in your area, and then you use those dice to go onto the cards and activate them for various bonuses. The game is kind of abstract, I would say.
Kind of?
Okay, all right, there you go. I wanted you to strike it.
Come on.
But it has
Come on, games, not Simon.
it has interesting mechanism. There's an interesting mechanism where you
Who
can
makes Troy's?
Z-Man. Z-Man. Yes, it's a Z-Man game. It's an old Z-Man game. It has an interesting mechanism, which is very confusing.
Go ahead.
That where you can buy, you use your dice to perform actions, but you can also buy other players' dice. Buying other players'
I like
dice
that.
is interesting. It's very interesting. Here's why it's
said
interesting.
that.
It's very interesting. Is that why? It's interesting because it costs you money.
Costs you
money's
money.
very tight. And so you have to be able to look at the board and realize I can spend a little bit of money to steal this guy's dice
Right?
and use it and keep him from using it. Is that worth the benefit?
Okay, so thematically, though, are you stealing dice or just hiring somebody away from
It's
somebody
basically
else?
they have a worker and you're basically paying them a little bit more
hiring
money.
them
I'm
away from
hiring
you.
this away from you. And you give that player the money. And
because
so-
you're supposed to be rebuilding some area of France,
in France.
right?
I
so
think.
you're like a builder. You're supposed to be. You can make your underlings work on the cathedral.
Underlings.
That's what it says on BGG.
Okay. Oh, so you're reading
Okay.
from BGG?
Combat
You have a script now?
Combat misfortune.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Well then.
Bustle about the city.
Bustle.
What? What do you bustle about?
That's not a
I'm
word.
sending you to bustle about.
Bustle.
That's what it says.
That's what Doc Holliday said. Kate, you're not wearing a bustle. How lewd. that's what the line is. I don't think bustle is what you're thinking.
Oh. That's what it says, bustle.
That might
If
be
you bustle
a
about,
misprint.
no. If you bustle about, that means you're just like meandering.
Oh, okay.
Bustle about.
So
I'm just
you're
bustling
wandering. You're on walkabout.
Yeah, you're wandering.
As Troy would
Walkabout.
say. Troy would say.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Okay, he knows what that is.
Walkabout.
That's walkabout for all you
Walkabout
Australians.
the other day in Australia
I don't think they actually do
with a
walkabout.
wallaby.
I don't think they do.
Walkabout.
Troy, email us and let us know. Do y'all really do
Troy,
walkabouts?
we played that game.
No.
That's what we're talking
But
about.
there's no walkabouts in it. And I don't think
Walkabout,
Australians really go on walkabout.
They do.
I need to know this.
What about that thing he used for like wah, 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 wah. Remember the thing? He's like,
On
I gotta
the
make
string?
he says I gotta make a phone call. Wah, 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 wah. I love that. I gotta watch that movie again.
Okay, we need to get together and watch Crocodile Dundee. Both one and two.
1 and 2,
I
not
like-
3.
I like two.
2 is my favorite.
Is it?
It is my favorite.
I think it might be mine too. I'll have to rewatch
the
them.
only part about 1 I like is when he starts walking on their heads in the subway.
That was super. That was great. Did you not get?
I got teary eyed.
Like they're all.
I got teary-eyed.
He goes to catch. They run down there. She runs down there to catch him.
Yes, that
And
was
it's-
awesome.
that was
I'm
a
not
great-
I got teary eyed.
That's great.
Oh, I'm just thinking about it right now. That's no knife. This is a knife. Okay, so Troy told us that Crocodile Dundee and Kangaroo Jack have done a great deal of, what was this terminology he used?
I don't think that they were as greatly appreciated as we think they should be.
So, like, we really like those movies, but he's like, yeah, that kind of done I need his terminology. Not like it's done a lot of damage, but like, yeah, it's done a lot of,
Well, you could just imagine.
it just kind of stereotyped a bunch of things.
Yeah, like it stereotypes. And you could imagine if a movie, a very popular
Just like everybody
movie-
thinks everybody in Texas wears cowboy hats and rides horses.
Well, we do.
I ride horses. You wear cowboy hats.
I do.
I guess it's true.
I don't wear my cowboy hat as much as I should because I have my hair.
Only with your wife.
Yes,
Are you sure it's your hair?
it is my hair.
Okay.
I have to have a 10-gallon hat to cover all my hair.
A 10
I hope you can live with that line.
hat.
Yeah.
Part 2, Crocodile Dundee. My
go ahead.
favorite. I love that movie.
I love that movie.
When he gets shot, but he's actually the other guy. He's pretending, and she like shoots him. Oh, man, it's just a good movie. It's a good twist.
Spoilers, man.
I watched that movie in the theater at Hugo, Oklahoma.
Wow. Hugo doesn't have
That does not have one anymore.
They-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. That's,
That's
I'm going
Circuit
back.
City.
You're
That's
taking me
where-
back.
People don't realize that Hugo is where all the elephants go from the circus to retire.
Yeah, it's very sad.
It's very sad.
By that you mean
would,
death.
If you would like to come see
If by retire you mean death?
a bunch of old elephants, just send us an email and come visit us down in Hugo, Oklahoma. And we'll take you to the Elephant Ark, is what they call it. And you can see the old elephants. That they are super old and retired from the circus. I love elephants. They're a beautiful creature.
They're not.
They're
I think-
majestic. I think elephants are majestic.
Favorite elephant? African or the other ones? I can't even remember.
I'm supposed to say Dumbo
Yeah,
or
Jumbo.
Hatari. Isn't it Hatari?
just stop that. That's
That's like an old movie.
that's Sanford and Son.
Oh,
That's Sanford and Son. What are you talking about? You've lost your mind.
No, there's like Hatari. That it involves an elephant in Hatari. It's an
seems like-
old. Isn't that a John Wayne movie?
Wait a minute. Seems like we were talking about a board game. What was the game? Twa.
Oh, it was so interesting, apparently.
Twa. I liked it. What is it good for? I'll tell you what it's good for. It's good for people who are really into Euros. But
It's very, very dry.
caveat, I like
Big butts, and I cannot lie.
um,
No other brother can deny.
Lorenzo better.
Yes.
I really like Lorenzo better. For a game that's about dice and dice manipulation, I would refer you to Lorenzo El Magnifico by Simon Games.
Yes.
Is readily available.
Come on.
It's a great game. Whereas this game tends to be a little, I don't want to say
I
convoluted.
liked this game,
It was just hard to
liked
wrap your
it.
mind around this strategy.
but the whole first of all, the iconology is all over. I mean, there's a bunch of it.
There's a lot of math.
There's a lot of math.
There's division.
And then there's lots of, what did we say before? Conversions.
Common core.
Lots of conversions.
I don't like conversions.
Like if you, so like you need to use yellow dice where you can go up here and put your dude on this and then move later, turn this dice into yellow dice, use those yellow dice. Like there's a lot of conversion and it was fine. I enjoyed it. It's a good game. It's a quality, solid game. For everybody, no. Not everybody's going to like it. It's super dry Euro.
Only the Euro, big time Euro fans would.
If you're a Lorenzo, that type of person, you probably would enjoy this game, as did we, but it's not at the top of my list.
It's not a top 10 game for me, and it's one that I think that you could probably. There are people that are going to play this game, and yeah, they're going to like it, but they're not going to love it. There's some interesting aspects. I want to play the expansion, the Ladies of Twa,
Yeah.
just to see if it changes some things up, and I heard that it does. But honestly, I mean, El Magnifico, Lorenzo, is great, and it does something
tough to
very.
beat.
It's tough to beat, and it does something very similar. And if I was going to make a recommendation, I would say that if you like Twa, then you should buy Lorenzo. But if you don't own either, you should buy Lorenzo. And if you're a big-time Euro fan, you probably already own Lorenzo, and thus tracking down a copy of Twa is probably something you've already done. And so it's a good game. It's interesting, but to be honest, I'm not super compelled to go back
Please
to it.
be honest when speaking to me.
I am honest when I'm speaking to you. I don't think I'm that compelled to play it again or multiple times as I would be at Lorenzo. Maybe that's just me. I bought this game because I heard that there are certain reviewers that claim this to be their favorite game, and always
Did
on
they
people's
say
top.
anything about the expansion making it different?
People have talked about it making it different. There's like adds player boards and various other things. But I just let me ask Enrique. Enrique, what did you think about it?
It was pretty good.
Okay, that's enough. I think that it's good, but I don't think that it's great. It's different, but it's
very
not
different.
intuitive.
I like the fact that you can take the dice. I
I
like,
like taking dice
I'll,
and taking names.
I'll
If I'm in a hurry, I'll just take initials.
There's lots of aspects to it I like. It's very thinky, but it's not anything I'm like excited about.
It didn't excite you.
No.
It didn't tingle your brain.
No, it did not.
It didn't tingle mine. You know what else didn't tingle my brain? Star Trek Conflict. I hate that game.
Yes.
Okay, good that we have that. So, that is it. We kind of sort of like Trois. It's a decent game. I think it's interesting. It's different. In terms of Euro players, if you are a Euro gamer, then by all means, give this one a shot. But I would definitely recommend that Lorenzo is probably more accessible.
Yeah, I like that it has those moves where you can mitigate the dice. Like if you what is it called? It's not
Influence.
Influence. It's got an influence track separate from victory points, but you can run up your influence track, and you can
Stop biting the mic.
you can change your dice, so you can manipulate your dice. If you don't like this one, you can move 4 influence, I think, and make it into a 6.
Right.
So you're not stuck with random dice rolls.
Right.
You can
It's
mitigate
not-
that.
it's the
not a
results-
random dice game.
No, there's a lot of decision making in the game. But I will say I wish the rule book was a little bit better. I don't know why. It's like it was difficult to. I think it's because it's so different.
It's different.
It is different.
And that's one reason I do like it, because
Is
it's
that
not.
it is different.
Yes.
And it's not one that I like. I think this will be in our collection. It's not one that I'm going to sell. I think it's decent enough to keep, and it's different enough that I like the ingenuity behind it.
I would rather play this. I think we need to play it again. But right now, I would rather play Trois than Grand Austria Hotel.
Enrique.
Like, I'd rather play Australia.
Grand Austria.
Yeah.
Completely different country.
Yeah.
Well said.
Sorry.
Grand Austria.
Yeah. I'd rather play that
Grand
than
Australia.
Trois.
All about that.
I'd rather play that than Trois. Because
I
it's
think
more,
I would too. I'm going to agree with Enrique, which I really agree with Enrique because Enrique's not agreeing.
Well, I need to play Grand Austria Hotel again.
You do.
Viewing it as we
Like,
only played it
I like the
once.
cake
like when
and the
me
coffee
and
and the
when
wine.
me when
and the strudel.
I remember
I like giving people strudel.
I understand Trois. Like I got it.
Do you
But
really?
Grant, I won.
That doesn't mean that you understand it.
Also, it's interesting. Every game I win, Jerry's like, I don't know if I like this game.
Dare you. Just because I lose a game doesn't mean I don't
Grand
like
Austria Hotel, I remember at the end of it thinking, man, that's a tough game.
it. It is tough.
It's very tough.
It's tough
And
like jerky. I recently ate a lot of jerky, and it's very tough. And I don't know why
I
people
thought you were
like
going to
jerky.
relate it to like cake or something that's
No,
in the
it's just
game.
jerky. I don't
Strudel.
want jerky. Why do people
You
eat
went
jerky?
to jerky. I don't mind jerky.
You don't mind it.
yeah, but
why
do
would
they
you want to
eat
put
it?
the
If I'm
effort
on-
in
if I'm
eating
on a
dried
low
out
carb
meat?
diet.
You're not on low carb diet.
Sometimes I am.
No, you're not.
Sometimes I
on
am.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every other
sometimes.
Tuesday. I'm on a low carb diet.
Oh, it is
So
tough.
is
That jerky analogy
is
wasn't any
Luke-
good. I shouldn't have used the jerky analogy. I should have used another analogy.
don't beat yourself up.
Sorry. Some of my analogies are spot on, but every once in a while, when I'm in a panic, I use
miss.
poor analogies.
What was his last drink? Do we?
I just don't understand why people like jerky.
I
jerky.
like jerky. If it's good jerky, it's good.
Why is it called jerky?
I don't know. It's dried meat, dehydrated meat
Why is it called
products.
jerky?
Because you have to, when you bite it, you
You have to jerk it away.
got to jerk it away from your mouth.
I'll buy it.
It's good. I like jerky.
Okay. You're pro jerky.
I'm pro jerky. All right. Well, I think we're done.
I am done. 'cause
Okay.
I don't want to hear any more of your pro jerky propaganda.
I think that's it. I can't even know what we're going to talk about next time.
Crusader Kings, which we need to play, and also
But I don't know that we're going to talk about it the next time.
I
Because
don't know if we're going to talk about it because we're busy.
We got lots of stuff to
Super
do.
busy here lately.
All right. Until next time, I'm
This is
Gabi.
Jerry. What's that?
Enrique.
Found the definition of why it's called jerky.
Jerky comes from a South American native tribe called the Quechua, originally part of
Bless
the
you.
ancient Inca Empire. They called it chacariki. Which means to burn meat. I can't pronounce that. So it's basically their expression of burning meat.
Burnt meat.
So, which is
Makes
pretty
sense.
accurate. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that. And nor would I've taken the time to Google this. This is why we have you on the podcast, Enrique, to not wear sleeves and to Google things that I talk about. You're literally the... I don't know what you are.
I'm just something.
You
I'm
are
just that.
something. You are definitely
Okay,
something.
again, I'm Gabby.
Well, are we
and
done?
Jerry,
Are we not done?
Enrique.
Are
Say
you
goodbye.
stifling
Oh,
us?
bye,
We're done.
I'm not done.
We're done.
No.